All right, I'm going to try to show you or remind you how to work with the metric system in 3 minutes or less. Let's see how I do. This is just a little snippet of your PSSA formula sheet. It's just the metric system. And I really don't like the way that they gave you the metric system on here. So I'm going to mark it up. Now here's the deal. When you get that PSSA formula sheet, you can mark it up any way you want. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to cross off this word meter. And I'm going to write in there base, because that middle part is where it's just a meter or just a liter or just a gram. And so that's another thing that I'm going to write down here. So all of the metric system in pretty much every other place in the world except for the US, they use grams whenever they're weighing something. They use meters whenever they're measuring the length of something. And they use liters whenever they are measuring volume. For example, you go get a 2-liter bottle of soda. So all of these units, see the word meter after them? It could be kilogram, it could be kiloliter, it could be hectogram, hectoliter, it could be decigram, deciliter. Okay, and the prefixes would be like this. If I wanted kilograms, that would be kilograms. If I wanted deciliters, I would write deciliters. That's an L. A millimeter has a millimeter in it. Now here's the big thing. A lot of people get this wrong. If my unit only has one M, it is not a millimeter. Because look, millimeter had two M's, one for the milli and one for the meter. So if my unit, let's say it was 8M, that stands for 8 meters. And the meters by itself is my base. So anytime there's only one letter, either meters, or it could be 8 grams, or maybe it could be 8 liters. Every single time there's only one letter, that's your base, okay? One letter, base. 2 letters like kilograms, deciliters, millimeters. If there's 2 letters in your units, that means you've got your prefix and either gram, meter, or liter. So there's just a little, I'm not going to make this in 3 minutes, am I? So that just gives you a little idea. But this is the biggie. So many people, whenever they see an M, and we're talking about the metric system, they think they need to go to the millimeters. All right, second thing that I would do if I were you. First, I'm going to clear this screen a little bit here. Let me clear just the drawings. Okay, back to the formula sheet section. Marking it up really quick. Remember, I don't know why they only use meters. Maybe they only give you questions with meters on the PSSA. I don't know, but there's the base here. Okay, remember that could be a gram, it could be a meter, and it could be a liter. And remember, all of these don't have to be meters as well. The next thing that I'm going to do, as soon as I get my formula sheet, I'm going to take the first letter in these units, and I'm going to flip them to the side. So do you remember King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk? Something like that. Watch. K for kilo, H for hecto, D for deca, and then I'm going to put a B for base instead of the meter. And then D for deci. Notice I use a lowercase because it's a smaller unit. C for centi, and M for milli. Okay? So I've heard people say King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. That's just like a mnemonic device to help you try to remember. Here's the cool thing about the metric system. If you notice up here, I'm going to mess this up a bit here. If you notice in the metric system, all these numbers are just ones and zeros. So the metric system, everything is in powers of 10. And powers of 10 is really nice to work with. Let's just do some examples, okay? So, example 1. Let's say your teacher asks you to convert 240 meters, and she wants you to convert that into centimeters, okay? So notice I'm starting with just one letter, so that means I'm at my base here. That's where I'm starting at the base. And I want to end up at centimeters. And that's going to be 2 jumps, and I have to go to the right. So I'm going to look at my number. My number was 240. Whenever I have a whole number like this and there's no decimal involved, the decimal point is always at the very end of it, okay? And now, just like I had to do up in my King Henry Died by Drinking Chocolate Milk, I went 2 places to the right. I'm going to take my decimal point and I'm going to move it 2 places to the right. Now, I didn't have any numbers to go around, so basically I had to add 2 zeros in there as placeholders so that I could go around. So my decimal point is no longer after the first 0, and now my number, the number of centimeters, is going to be 240, but then remember I had to add 2 zeros in there. So actually 240 meters is the same thing as 24,000 centimeters. Okay, let's do another example. I'm going to just leave all that stuff up there, but I'm going to clear my drawings. Okay, got my base in here. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. This time your teacher says, okay, I want you to convert 13.5 centiliters, and I want you to convert that into kiloliters. Okay, this time I don't have a base because I have 2 letters and 2 letters. So I'm going from centiliters, so check it out up here, from centiliters, and I need to see how many jumps it's going to take me to get to kiloliters. And this took me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumps. So I'm going to take my number, 13.5, and with this decimal point, I'm going to move it 5 places to the left. So let's get a different color. 1, 2. Now I don't have any more digits to go around, so I'm going to add zeros. I have to go 3 more places, so I'm going to need 3 more zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places to the left. So 13.5 centiliters is the same thing as 0.00013 kiloliters. Kilo is a big thing, and centi is really small, so it is going to be a really small amount of kiloliters there. And some people put that extra 0 after the decimal, and that doesn't change anything. Okay? 2 more examples, and then I'm going to give you some to do on a worksheet as well. Let's clear it. Again, I'm going to write my base. I've got King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. And let's see, 2 more. So this time, let's go from, let's make it a 5K. If you've ever done if you run and you've done a 5K race, that's 5 kilometers. So let's make it 5 kilometers. And I want to convert that to meters. So I want to know how many meters is 5 kilometers. Well, I'm starting on the K for kilometers. And remember, this only has 1 letter. Since it only has 1 letter, that's going to be my base. So I have to go 1, 2, 3 to the right to get to my base. So I start with 5. My decimal is after it, since there wasn't decimal. It's a whole number. And I'm going to have to move 3 places to the right. Well, I don't have any digits to go around, so I'm going to have to add 3 zeros so that I can go 1, 2, 3 places to the right. So 5 kilometers is the same exact thing as 5,000 meters. Last example. This time, let's make it 12.71 hectograms, and we want to know how many decigrams is that. Now I usually, with deci, I make a little d, and with deca, I make a big D, but they'll usually probably tell you. So I'm starting with hecto, and let me erase I'll erase what I did with my kilometers there. So let's use green this time. I'm starting with hecto, which is right here, and I want to end up at deci. Deci is the smaller one, so I had to go 1, 2, 3 to the right. Well, in 12.71, I can go around 2 digits, but I need another 0 to go around a third digit. So my final answer, 12.71 hectograms, is the same thing as, okay, so it's 12710, and my decimals at the end. So it'll be 12,710 decigrams. Okay, hopefully you can use these as examples. You can always rewind if you're not sure, and let's see how many you can get right.